Before the Gateway Arch became the icon of the skyline, before the grid of city streets was laid, before the name St. Louis was ever spoken, this land was already alive. It wasn't empty. It wasn't waiting. It was a thriving, bustling metropolis, a center of civilization known as Mound City. Let's journey back in time, long before European contact. To understand the true origins of this place, imagine a landscape not of concrete and steel, but of earth and sky. Along the Mississippi River, hundreds of earthen mounds rose from the floodplain, some small and rounded, others massive, flat-top pyramids. This was the heart of the Mississippian culture, a complex society of farmers, artisans, traders, and astronomers who flourished here. For centuries, their daily life was woven into the rhythms of the river and the seasons. They cultivated corn, beans, and squash in the fertile lowlands, fished from the abundant waters, and hunted in the nearby forests. Their villages were organized communities, with homes made of wood and thatch, centered around public plazas where markets, ceremonies, and social life unfolded. This wasn't a primitive existence. It was a sophisticated and deeply spiritual way of life. The mounds themselves were the epicenters of this world. They were not simply piles of dirt. They were feats of engineering and sacred architecture, built basketful by basketful over generations. Each mound had a purpose. The larger, flat-top mounds served as platforms for the homes of chiefs and priests, elevating them closer to the sky, the realm of the spirits. Other mounds were conical or ridge-topped, likely used for burials of important individuals, entombing them with pottery, tools, and shells that spoke of their status and the society's belief in an afterlife. The largest of these, a massive structure known as Big Mound, once stood near what is now downtown St. Louis, a testament to the community's power and devotion. Across the river, the capital of this vast network, the city of Cahokia, reigned supreme. At its peak around 1100 AD, Cahokia was larger than London was at the time. It was a sprawling urban center, with a population of tens of thousands. At its core stood Monk's Mound, the largest prehistoric earthwork in the Americas, a four-terrace behemoth that took centuries to construct. Surrounding it were over 100 other mounds, a grand plaza, and a series of large wooden post circles, now called wood henges, which functioned as sophisticated solar calendars. These allowed the people of Cahokia to track the solstices and equinoxes, marking the changing seasons and determining the times for planting, harvesting, and major festivals. It was a city of cosmic alignment, a place where the earthly and celestial worlds met. Then, everything changed. The arrival of European settlers in the 18th and 19th centuries marked the beginning of a rapid and devastating transformation. The new city of St. Louis was founded, and as it grew, its expansion came at a great cost. The mounds, which had stood for 1,000 years as monuments to a vibrant culture, were seen not as sacred history but as obstacles to progress. They were flattened to make way for roads, buildings, and railroads. Big Mound, the city's most prominent ancient landmark, was systematically destroyed in 1869, its earth used as fill for a railroad embankment. This physical destruction was also a cultural erasure. The name Mound City became an ironic nickname for a place that had actively dismantled the very features that gave it that name. The stories, the language, and the history of the Mississippian people were buried, paved over, and nearly forgotten. So, what happens when a history is buried so completely? Does it simply disappear, or does it remain a silent witness beneath our feet? The truth is, the land remembers. Every street you walk on in downtown St. Louis, every building you enter, stands on what was once sacred ground. It's a history that has been silenced, but not erased. The energy of that time, the spirit of the people who lived and died here, is part of the very soil of the city. In recent years, there has been a growing movement to uncover and honor this buried past. Archaeologists are piecing together the story from the fragments left behind. Descendant communities, like the Osage Nation, are working to reclaim their connection to the land and educate the public. Memorials and interpretive centers are beginning to emerge, striving to tell a more complete and truthful story of the region. This work is not just about correcting a historical record. It's about justice. It's about acknowledging the deep wound of this erasure and beginning the slow process of healing. The story of Mound City is a powerful reminder that the history of a place is layered. The past is never truly past. It lives on in the land itself and in the collective memory we choose to cultivate. So, the next time you look at the St. Louis skyline, look beyond the arch. Imagine the great mounds that once stood there. Remember the civilization that thrived here. By remembering we honor the people who came before, we understand our present more deeply, and we commit to building a future that respects all the stories the land has to tell. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please share it and subscribe for more hidden histories.